After 2 Star Wars films in the last 7 months alone, fans are now tasked with waiting a year and a half before the next entry in the saga rolls round, which can actually only be a good thing. The extended wait should make Star Wars an event again, but J.J. Abrams has found himself in the peculiar position of having to provide answers for once in his long and storied career to the trilogy he began. It's a tricky situation to be in, especially after the divisive, to say the least, The Last Jedi, and there aren't that many clues as to how he's actually going to wrap this gigantic saga up. Little is known about the project officially, which is admittedly exactly how the director likes it, but there have been a few rumors floating around in the past few weeks and months, ranging from the likely to the ludicrous, which do sound tantalizing. I'm Josh from WhatCulture.com, and this is Star Wars Episode 9, 10 Rumors You Need to Know.
But before we begin, don't forget to subscribe to stay notified. Ding, ding, done.
Number 10. A major time jump. Star Wars movies have always had at least a tiny time jump between movies, or at least all of them, because The Last Jedi completely bucked the trend, as it did with almost every part of the Star Wars mythos. Episode 9, however, is more likely to revert to type rather than pick up in the immediate aftermath of The Last Jedi. In fact, the official comics have already started to fill in the timeline of what happens immediately after Episode 8 finishes. Consequently, a time jump would give the movie more breathing space and open up more storytelling scenarios, as after all, the last time we left the Resistance, they were in a pretty sorry state. In more real-world terms, though, the sad reality is that a time jump would be the most appropriate way to write out Carrie Fisher's general lair in a fitting way that isn't just jarring and abrupt. This is a rumor that's been floating around for a while now, but it gained more credence when John Boyega himself was talking about shooting the latest film, saying that he had to grow out his hair and that you'd have to wait and see why when the trailer drops. Consequently, the likelihood of this rumor being true and there being a major time jump of either 1 year or 5 years gets a 9 out of 10 by me. Number 9. A new female lead. Though there haven't been too many new cast members officially announced for Episode 9 as of yet, there is one rumoured casting underway for a new female lead. According to the report, casting director Nikki Gold is looking for an ethnic female, with a preference for African American and age between 18 and 26. The character they're casting for is apparently called Caro, who allegedly needs a captivating naturalness and ease to her manner. As per the rumour, she'll be a leader and a problem solver, with a strong will and a sense of humour that needs to come effortlessly. Whether this is going to be another Resistance fighter or a new Jedi is entirely up in the air, but we will be getting a new female lead in some form in the new movie. Number 8. Seeing more of Snoke. The death of the Supreme Leader Snoke in The Last Jedi is both an epic plot twist and a source of contention amongst fans who feel a bit burned that they didn't get to see his backstory played out on screen. J.J. Abrams, though, as the creator of the character, could be looking to bring him back and give fans those answers they so desperately crave. A number of rumours about Snoke's return have circulated pretty much since The Last Jedi hit theaters, with there being speculation that he might return as a Force ghost, something we've never seen a Sith do before now, but then who's to say Snoke is a Sith at all? The most recent rumour, though, comes courtesy of YouTuber Mike Zero, who makes references to storyboards showing Snoke interacting with a younger Kylo Ren. That does make sense, as there's plenty to Snoke's backstory and his relationship with Kylo Ren that we haven't yet seen on the big screen, even if we do have enough information for that relationship to work and for the audience to understand how they interact with each other. Still, fans love this bollow-brained bastard, and it wouldn't be out of the question for Abrams to revisit him in some form in Episode 9, so I'll give this a likelihood of, say, 6 out of 10? Number 7. Yoda and Rey. Yoda's cameo in The Last Jedi was one of the movie's highlights, with him sharing a scene with his old pupil, Luke. It was so good, in fact, that Episode 9 is apparently looking to capitalize on it, but with one significant twist: he'll be interacting with Rey and not Luke. Yoda is already aware of who Rey is. After all, he and Luke talked about her in The Last Jedi, and according to New York Daily News, they will be sharing a scene together in the upcoming movie as Rey develops develops her powers as a Jedi. The publication states that Yoda is set to show up to comment on Rey's growth as a Jedi, and the two will share a couple of scenes together in the movie next year. We all know that Star Wars love their Force ghosts, so I'll give this a likelihood rating of 7 out of 10. Number 6. Billy D. Williams is back. So far, we've seen the majority of original trilogy heroes return for the new sequels, and not just the likes of Han, Chewie, and Leia, but other minor characters including Admiral Akbar, Bomu Vine, and of course, Nien Nunb. The one major character we haven't seen though is Lando Calrissian. Although the character is alive as far as we know anyway, the Resistance, weirdly enough, have never called on him for help, but apparently that is all about to change. There's been an increasing amount of chatter in the recent weeks that Billy D. Williams will be returning for Episode 9 as the character, with a lot of respected sources picking up on this, including The Hollywood Reporter. There is logic to it as well, as not only does it wrap up loose ends and explain where the hell he's been for the past 2 movies, but with the likes of Han, Leia, and of course Luke out of the franchise in human form, it gives the remaining characters an older original trilogy character to look up to and act as a sort of mentor figure. At this point, Lando's return is a matter of when rather than if, so this gets a likelihood rating of 10 out of 10. Number 5. A return to Yavin 4. Filming for the new movie takes place later this month at the time of recording, so we're no doubt going to find out more about which shooting locations the team are using for the new project. One location we do know is being used for certain by the Star Wars team though is Cardington Airship Sheds. It's obviously a multi-purpose location being used in blockbusters like The Dark Knight, but it's only ever been used in Star Wars for one location, Yavin 4. Cardington was used in both the original Star Wars and Rogue One as the Rebel base, so it makes sense that they'd be returning to there for the end of this new trilogy. After all, the Resistance do need a new base, and Poe Dameron is from there, meaning there is logic to it appearing again. It would bring the series full circle, but at the end of the day, this is a multi-purpose location, and theoretically, it could be used to film anything. Consequently, this gets a likelihood rating of 7 out of 10. Number 4. Naboo might also appear. Yavin isn't the only world that J.J. Abrams might be taking us back to in the new movie though, as reports suggest that Naboo, which hasn't actually shown up in the series since Revenge of the Sith, is also going to make an appearance. It's been reported that Lucasfilm is apparently scouting locations in Spain, which is where they shot the scenes in Naboo. On top of that, there is speculation that Naboo might be the location of Leia's funeral scenes, as while she isn't from there, her mother Padme was, and with Alderaan completely blown to smithereens, she does need a place to rest. However, this is quite difficult to believe as we haven't seen this since the prequel trilogy, so this gets a likelihood rating of 5 out of 10. Number 3. Ewan McGregor's Obi-Wan cameo. The Obi-Wan solo movie was on, then it was off, and now nobody really has any idea what the hell is going on with it, but according to a couple of reports, Ewan McGregor's character might be making an appearance in Episode 9, regardless of how his spin-off goes. The actor has long been linked with a return to the Star Wars universe, and it's clear he really wants to come back, and according to The Sun, yeah, I know, he has filmed a cameo or will film a cameo for the upcoming movie. The character could appear alongside Luke as a Force ghost, or he might actually factor in to Rey's parentage, which has been a long-running fan theory ever since The Force Awakens came out. It's a difficult one to judge this because on the one hand, it's The Sun reporting it, but on the other hand, it's Ewan McGregor's Obi-Wan, which clearly has a fan base around him, giving this a likelihood rating of 6 out of 10. Number 2. Luke as a Force ghost. Luke Skywalker may have tragically died in The Last Jedi, but like he says himself, no one's ever really gone. That, along with him telling Kylo, "See you around, kid," seems to open up the door for a return in some form in Episode 9. We've seen both Yoda and Obi-Wan return as Force ghosts, so it makes sense that Luke would follow in their paths and return himself in the new movie, either to help Rey or to taunt Kylo from the shadows. At the very least, Mark Hamill said he'd be up for it, and you'd have to imagine that J.J. Abrams, who didn't really get to do all that much with either the actor or the character in The Force Awakens, would like to do more with Luke in his own movie. In my opinion, this is all but nailed on, giving it a likelihood rating of 9 out of 10. Number 1. The huge plot leak. Although Star Wars scripts tend to be under lock and key, things have slipped out in the past, with the likes of Han's death circulating on the internet well before the movie actually came out. Once again then, a storyboard has actually leaked for episode 9, and although it doesn't look all that legit, it is still worth talking about. It comes courtesy of Reddit and includes a number of plot points, including, but not limited to, a 5-year time jump. Kylo Ren firmly established as the leader of the First Order, who's actually seen as a good leader by the entire galaxy. Rey, Poe, Finn, and Leia investigating the true nature of the First Order and their origins, which leads them to a water world. Kylo Ren hunting down Force users in unknown regions, and Rey having a child who she also teaches to be a Jedi. While we can obviously discredit everything with Leia now that Carrie Fisher has unfortunately passed away, this report was apparently from a leaked version of Colin Trevorrow's script, which, if true, thank God he is no longer writing this movie. Consequently, I'll give this a likelihood rating of 1 out of 10, as while it may have been true at a time, this is certainly not the script that J.J. Abrams will be working from. So that's our list. I want to know what you guys think down in the comments below about these rumors. Do you think they're valid? And if so, would you like to see any of them come true? And while you're there, if you can, give us a like, share, a subscribe, and all that jazz, and even head over to whatculture.com for more lists and news like this every single day. Also, while you're here, you might want to check out a video on 5 movies that changed your mind about directors you hated, or about 8 movies that incredibly got away with being total rip-offs. Even if you don't though, I've been Josh, you've been watching What Culture, and I'll see you soon.